Thermopolis residents stage a protest calling for the firing of a police officer who killed a suspect after illegally entering the man's home. A Cody restaurant will be featured on the popular Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives television show. And after being struck by a vehicle last week, Grizzly 610 has apparently bounced back from her injuries. We'll take a look at these stories and more today from Wyoming's largest news organization. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. Thermopolis residents have gathered at the town's main intersection every night to protest what they perceive as a lack of accountability for Thermopolis Police Sergeant Mike Mascoro. Mascoro killed a suspect in a gunfight after breaking into the suspect's home without a warrant in April. Mascoro was critically injured in the exchange, and he was welcomed home as a hero after his release from the hospital. But Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports that the tide of public opinion has turned.
Many people in Thermopolis believe that tensions between Mascaro and the town people have been boiling for a while, and the report on the officer-involved shooting merely brought them to the surface.
A recent report by a special prosecutor found that while Mascoro's shooting of Larimore was justified under a self-defense exemption protecting police, the officer also broke into the suspect's home illegally, prompting the shootout. A male grizzly that had been venturing into the city limits of Cody was hazed and driven off by wildlife officials over the weekend, a potent reminder that Northwest Wyoming is bear country. In fact, Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi reports that Cody residents are recommended to carry bear spray or another deterrent when venturing out into the wilder parts of town and to try to stay in groups.
There's nothing for people in the city of Cody to be afraid of. It's not like the bears are moving in, but it's a reminder that even in this densely populated area, it's still within territory and habitat that bears freely roam in.
The grizzly had been spotted Friday along the Shoshone River near the Palstock Nature Trail, a 2-mile loop trail on the northern edge of Cody. The report prompted a multi-day investigation during which the trail was closed to the public. The Kindness Ranch near Hartville has garnered national attention since taking in 150 of the 4,000 beagles rescued from a breeding and research facility in Virginia last fall. Most recently, Kindness Ranch director John Raymer and his team had their first international save when it rescued 4 beagles from an underground meat market in China. And this week, they saved 2 more beagles from China as part of their ongoing rescue efforts. Just like the other saves, these 9 new male and female beagles just under a year old will be rehabilitated for adoption. Combined, the Kindness Ranch is caring for 16 beagles, with 4 to 5 now ready for adoption. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
A place that quickly became a favorite go-to spot in Cody has found its way onto the mayor of Flavortown's radar. City's Table, a family-owned restaurant inspired by Porter Corey's Lebanese grandmother, will be featured on the Food Network's show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on Friday. Cowboy State Daily's Renee Jean says that Porter and her husband, Jake Scott, were thrilled that Guy Fieri chose to visit their tiny cafe and grocery store in downtown Cody. But Porter was even more thrilled when her 97-year-old grandmother, Marie, got to be there to meet her favorite TV star.
Their whole restaurant, is based around those kind of flavors that Porter Corey grew up with in her grandmother's kitchen. So she didn't figure her grandmother would ever get to see their place in person. For her to get to meet Guy Fieri and see Porter's store, that was just a real highlight for her.
The episode will air on the Food Network this Friday at 7 p.m. And since being hit by a vehicle and laying almost completely still for hours last week, one of Wyoming's most famous bears, Grizzly 610, has apparently bounced back. Local wildlife observers told Cowboy State Daily's Mark Hines on Monday that the bear is doing great and acting normal, which is good news for the thousands of people who follow 610's movements.
Since we ran that story, I've been getting email after message from people all over the country asking, how's the bear doing? Is she okay? Is she going to make it? It just speaks to just how large and broad the fan base is for these bears we have here in Wyoming.
The accident reignited calls among locals to lower the speed limit along that stretch of highway and perhaps build a wildlife crossing there. And that's today's news. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.